why believers don't actually believe. See, believe means to consider something as true, but many people consider things as true they don't actually want to live out. They say, man, I believe God is real, but they live like a hypocrite. They don't actually live as if God is real, as if they have a sense of accountability. So we have a believer who's choosing not to believe by their actions. I love one thing Alex Hormozy talked about. He talked about how, if you can't explain why you believe what you believe, it's not your belief, it's someone else's. You're adopting someone else's way of thinking. And that's how so many people are. Because of that, you're living the results of someone else's thinking. And those results, you can't be upset when they get you bad outcomes because you didn't discover it yourself. You didn't try to train it yourself. So how do we think clearly? Well, we think clearly by looking at the other side. As I examine the other side, Christianity if I'm a Muslim, and Muslim if Islam if I'm Christian, I'm examining the other side and saying, okay, why is this not true? Why is this true? As I see that, I can then develop my own beliefs. And now I have beliefs I can defend. And now I'm more likely to actually live it out because they're my own beliefs and not someone else's. And maybe that's why people have such poor actions, because they don't have a foundation to base their actions upon. Someone said, hey, you need to do good in school so you can go to a good college. That's someone else's belief instilled upon them. So now they're doing good out of self-imposed obligation, out of someone else's instruction towards them. But if they develop their own belief and say, I want to go to college because I want to be a doctor or a lawyer, well, now they're more motivated to put in the work to get to college because they have developed their own belief for themselves. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the difference between faith and belief. Now, this is where a lot of people struggle. Like the Bible talks about how the demons believe in God. Demons believe in God. So just because you believe doesn't mean your actions can back it up. Or just because you believe doesn't mean it's going to save you. You have to have faith, and saving faith, not just any faith, because there's a dead faith and there's a saving faith. A dead faith is saying, I believe, and not having action towards that belief. That's dead. But if you have action towards your belief, it shows that you have saving faith. You actually believe what you say you believe. How we make sure that we have a good enough belief so that it motivates us, inspires us, like the person going to college because they believe they want to be a doctor or lawyer, inspires us enough to put forth the effort it takes to actually live according to that belief. The answer is having a belief based upon what's true. As stated before, your belief is just considering something is true. That's why I said, I believe I can beat LeBron James. I could generally believe that. That's not true. That's not no reality that's true. But I could believe that. That's not based on truth. But when you have a belief that's based on truth, now that truth, because you actually are according with reality, you're more likely to have action towards it. For illustration, if I'm on a train and I'm with my friend and I said, dude, this train is going to go off a cliff and we're going to die. If that's not according with reality, the train's probably not going off a cliff. Well, then I'm less likely to get off the train than the truth was the train track fell and I'm actually going to go off a cliff, because that's based upon truth. Now, what really is the difference between faith and belief? Well, there's multiple ways to see it. One way I see faith is your ability to do something with the same intensity without knowing when the outcome is going to come. And I got this definition from is 1 Kings, I believe, chapter 17. With Elijah, he went to a widow's house and the widow's son died. So Elijah comes and he's like, okay, oh Lord, my God, I pray, let this child's soul come back to him. He's praying for God to pretty much revive the child, and nothing happened. So he prayed again, oh Lord, my God, I pray, let this child's soul come back to him, and nothing happened again. So at this moment, Elijah probably could have stopped. A lot of people would have stopped. The child has died, and you're asking God to revive a child. But Elijah had more faith than a lot of people because he kept continually praying without knowing when the outcome of God's revival in the kid is going to come. Prayed again, same prayer. Oh Lord, my God, I pray, let this child's soul come back to him, and God raised the child. Due to him having faith and continually with the same exact intensity, he got the outcome that he sought to get because God had mercy on him. Similarly, we apply this to our actual life. When we continue in a belief for so long, we have faith because we're continually to do it, not knowing the outcome is going to come. So if my goal is to make the NBA and I want to get that outcome, well, a belief is saying, I'm going to make the NBA, and I just make that up. But faith is putting in the work consistently with the same intensity day after day after day, because that's saving faith since I'm living it out. But dead faith is just the belief of I'm going to make the NBA. That's dead faith because I just believe it, but I'm not living according to it. Just like a demon believes there's God, but he's never going to submit to God. It's dead faith. And that's why a believer does not always believe, because they have dead faith and not active faith. But when you reframe what you believe and base it upon truth, not just what's according with your own reality, now you can have saving faith. That saving faith gives you better outcomes, and that outcomes makes you reinforce that faith that you have, so you can continue to live it out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like this type of content, feel free to subscribe.